Hi, this is David Carter from Carter Injury Law. Whether it's an auto accident, slip and fall, a dog bite, a medical malpractice case, nursing home abuse, or any other type of case that we take, we need to do an upfront investigation to assess the case. Your case will likely remain in the phase of liability and coverage investigation for 30 to 60 days. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. We should have discussed some of this at sign up with you, but I'm going to go over a few things again here. First, let's talk about liability. This is an important part of every case. So sometimes when you sign up, you've already given me or another attorney in the office or someone who signed you up all the information and the photographs and the statements and the evidence that you have about the case. If you haven't given that to us yet, now is the time. We need those photos. We need that evidence to fully assess your claim and the likelihood of success for you. So the best way to get it over to us is either email it over or text over all of the photos that you have of the scene of the accident or incident, photos of the vehicles if it's a car accident, photos of your injuries, no matter what kind of case we're talking about, or any other photos at all that you think might be helpful and that you have in your possession. Give us the incident reports, statements from witnesses, and names and addresses of all the witnesses that you have. Give us all the medical records that you think might help us in the past. Give us present medical records too. Give us whatever you have. The idea here is that more is better. We will never contact you and say, you've sent us too much stuff to review. Give us everything you have. I promise that we want it. So we are also going to review the questionnaire that you submitted to us. Sometimes that's what you signed when you met us in person, or it's the questionnaire that you may have filled out online from our client intake portal. It is very, very important, especially with some new laws that have changed, that we know about all past medical treatment and injuries you may have had to the same areas of your body, right? But no matter what, we want to know about all prior accidents that you've had and all prior surgeries and all prior injuries. So start now. Compile a list for us of all the doctors you've seen in the past 10 to 20 years that you can remember. If anything on your questionnaire as far as prior accidents, injuries, lawsuits, insurance claims, disability claims, or any prior injury is incorrect, it is very important that you contact our office as soon as possible. Why? Because we want to know as much about your case as possible so we can give you our true opinion of the case and the case's value. So once again, with this information, more is better. The more we know, the more we can help you. Some people sometimes, right, think that the defense or a defense attorney or an insurance company will never find out about a prior accident or a prior injury or some kind of prior medical treatment that you have. And that's usually just not the case. They can send subpoenas out to health insurance companies to find out what's been paid and auto insurance companies. And more often than not, they're going to catch you in a lie and ruin your case. If we know about it, we can deal with it up front. Every case, I promise you, every case has bad facts, and then we can deal with the bad facts. But we can't deal with not knowing about it, and we especially can't deal with lying about it in court. The liability investigation that we're talking about also includes our office doing our job, working to gather information that you may not have. So for example, we're going to request a copy of the incident report if it's a premises liability case where you've slipped and fallen or been injured on somebody else's property. They're probably not going to give it to us, but we're going to request it. If it's a car accident, we're going to request a crash report. We're going to send a preservation of evidence letter and a request to inspect letter to the property owner if it's a premises liability slip and fall. If it's an auto accident, we're going to ask to inspect the vehicle that caused the accident. We're going to try to pull video footage of the accident by looking at their car and seeing if they have a dash cam. We're going to try to pull black box data and electronic data recorder information off of the vehicle that caused the accident. If we know about witnesses, like if they're listed on the police report or you've told us about them, we're going to try to send them letters to get statements from them. This is some of the things that we are doing in the first 30 days. So to that end, it is very important that you stay off social media during the pendency of your case. I can't stress this enough. social media will destroy a case. The insurance company or the attorney for the party that caused your injuries may conduct an investigation of you as part of its evaluation of the value of your claim. So if you have an account on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now known as X, LinkedIn, Snapchat, any other website that can be viewed by the public, and that is not an exhaustive list. There's new things coming out every day, but I encourage you to think very carefully about the information and pictures that are posted on those websites or those social media platforms. Do not post anything on the internet that could affect the value of your case or portray you in a negative manner. They will find out about it, right? They may subpoena those records later on if you have to file a lawsuit. As a general rule, if it is information that you would not want heard in open court, you should keep it off the internet, especially while your case is pending, but probably forever. Okay. The second part of our investigation, past liability, is about insurance coverage. So as we likely explained to you during your sign up, there must be insurance coverage to go after. There are exceptions to this, but most of the time we need an insurance company to pursue. So the person who caused your injury usually needs to have a liability policy that will cover your injuries or the injuries of your loved one. For an auto accident case, that means bodily injury coverage on an auto policy. For a nursing home abuse case, that means a liability policy to cover the damages. For a medical malpractice case, for example, that means that the doctor needs to have malpractice insurance coverage. So there are exceptions, like I said, there are exceptions to this when we believe that a defendant, someone who caused the accident, someone who caused your injuries, might be collectible even though they don't have insurance. But I'll be honest with you, those cases are very rare. On an auto accident case, we're also going to look at whether you carry what is called uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. And what that does is it covers you if the person who hit you doesn't have bodily injury coverage, or doesn't have enough bodily injury coverage, or doesn't have any coverage at all. So probably seen some of our other videos. If you haven't, watch them about uninsured motorist coverage, why it's very important, but it can really help pay for the full extent of your injuries and damages in the event that you get hit by somebody who doesn't have the proper insurance. The other part of coverage is we have to know that the coverage actually applies. So sometimes people who cause car accidents don't pay their insurance policy premiums, and their insurance policy denies the claim because the policy is canceled. And they show up at the scene of an accident and give you the insurance, but it's not valid. Sometimes an unlisted driver was driving a vehicle and the insurance company is not going to cover them because they were, for example, a resident relative that lived in the house, but they weren't listed on the policy. So this is part of this initial investigation that we need to do to decide what coverage applies and how much. So what's the timeline? Florida statutes allow the insurance companies 30 days to provide us with a certified copy of the policy, along with what is called a declarations page. And what the declarations page is it's a policy document that shows all the coverages that are available under that policy. Sometimes, and you know how insurance companies can be, it can take a little bit longer than that. But we hope to have that within 60 days. Rest assured, as soon as we know how much coverage is available on your case, we're going to let you know, as it is a very important part of our initial assessment and evaluation of your claim. During this investigation of both liability and coverage on your case, it is important that if you are injured, you continue to seek medical treatment. The excuse of, well, I didn't know how much coverage there was, that will not play with a jury. During this time, if it's an auto accident case, we are going to do our best to get the insurance company in touch with you so that you can get your car repaired, get a rental, and get back on the road. Whatever the coverage we will allow, we will try to have them set that up with you. The reality is, look, the beginning of a case can be a stressful time, but we want you to know that we're working hard on your case, and we are here to help you, and we are here if you have any questions at all. You can call our office anytime to inquire about the status of the case, and we will tell you what we know at all times. Sometimes it might not move fast enough for you, but we're always here to communicate. We can control that part of it, right? We can always control that we're going to talk to you. We can't control insurance companies. If you're injured, we want you to focus on getting better and getting medical treatment. If you've lost a loved one and we are representing you for their wrongful death, we want you to be as stress-free as possible and spend the time that you need grieving your loved one. This isn't the time to stress out about, paperwork and all that. Let us handle all that for you. So no matter what, we hope to take the stress off of you so that you can focus on what's truly important. Know that you are in good hands when Carter's on the case, and we've got your back.